What's good, neighborhood? My name's Thew, welcome back to the little Transformers show that I make, and today we're going to count down the top 10 favourite robots that I picked up in 2021. God, 2021, remember that? What was that, a fortnight ago? Move on! Trying, this is just a tradition that we do, isn't it? We've got to wrap it up, got to put a button on it. It gets later in January every year. Look, my kitchen's still full of booze and snacks from Christmas, so it's still Christmas. So 2021 felt like a bit of a light year for me, collecting wise. I didn't really go super hard on like grail hunting or anything. There was a couple of big things that happened. Because like there was no TF Nation, there was no moment when I was seized by the need to get something that I've always needed. Like I did that with G1 Sunstreaker last year. It was something I've always wanted, and that was the time that I went in on it. And it felt great. And this year, it didn't really happen. Generally, I just kind of vibed with it, kept up with the current lines, kept an eye on the PO box, and what I'm trying to say is that most of the things I'm going to show you today, you've probably already seen. Probably not a lot of surprises coming up, but we're just going to roll with it. We're going to have a nice, cozy half an hour with some robots and my face. Okay? Okay, number 10.
10.
What are you doing? Stop pressing it. Kingdom Cyclonus, here we go. Oh, he's already shown you this one in great detail. I did a whole episode about it, but look, it's good, all right? It's an actual all-timer. Cyclonus is just such an icon of like this particular era of character design. He's so very Transformers. Gorgeous, instantly recognizable, and just the best toy of this guy that has ever existed, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm sure there's some pretty solid third-party masterpieces, but I don't feel like checking them out, and after having seen this thing, I don't feel like I need to. Solid 10 on 10 action figure that brought so much joy and appreciation for the hobby for me. So there was no way I wasn't going to include him on the list, was there? We love Scourge. Scourge is good, but this is next level. 2021 Q1 champion, Kingdom Cyclonus. Give it up. Nine. Sorry. Tidal Wave! Oh, the meat of this thing. So yes, must say big cheers to Andy for sending me quite a spectacular package of bots earlier this year. It just sort of coincidentally had quite a lot of the good Titans Return stuff that I missed. This thing, Metal Hawk, that's it. The broadside mold, we've had a look at it a few times. It's not that good, really, but just the energy of this thing, the purple and grey and the pure meaty chunk of it. I'm just powerless. This is an absolute Decepticon beast of a thing. It could like, go toe to toe with Lugnut for me, for beefy Decepticon goons. I love those, you know this. And also, I didn't do any Unicron trilogy this year, I don't think. This is quite a good sweet spot of it's cool in the first place, it's a Decepticon goon, it's purple, it's Titans Return, which I love. It's Unicron trilogy. It's a lot of things. It's a nice little gumbo. Just an inundation of things that I like about Transformers. Floods of love for this thing. How you liking these water gags? Don't be a drip. Terrible. Anyway.
Who's that?
Number 8, again, not much of a surprise if you've seen any of my show ever, but it's G1 Boss. This is the Turbo Master lad, and I cannot be mad. So I've got to say cheers again to Chris C for hooking me up with this thing out of nowhere. Didn't ask for it, just came through with a gorgeous condition, G1 Turbo Master Boss. Again, this is a nice sort of cocktail of bits and bobs that I like. It's a Turbo Master, I love those, but it's always been sort of Thunderclash, Rotorstorm. I haven't really got into the little guys, so this is the first time I've experienced one of those, and it is as pure a joy as can be found in G1 Transformers. Like, it's got that sort of late game, tasty, plasticky chonk. It's simple, it's elegant, it's blue. It's like the perfect middle ground between the sort of 84 simplicity, it's just a car, plus also it's got sort of latter day gimmicks and bright pink windows. Amazing. Bringing missile launcher Batmobile turbine, are you kidding? Oh my god, that's Jesus, that's got some kick, man. But yeah, this was very much my era of Transformers. This came out when I was like 8 or 9. Everybody else had moved on, and I'm just sat there with friggin' Talon and Stalker, just wishing people still wanted to join in. Look, is there a more perfect Autobot car former design than that? I doubt it. Head's incredible, you got light piping and a mouth plate. Just Optimus Prime, innit? Oh, what if it is? His name is Boss. Also, I must give a shout out to Nick over at Toyfu. Love that guy. He had a go at my Fans Hobby Lightning Eagle and he fixed it. He figured out what I'd done with the legs. He's like, there you go, you friggin' bozo. It was just something really obvious and basic, and I kind of knew it would be. It wasn't broken, I just messed it up somehow. I think we all knew that. I knew that. That's working again. Boss is on the scene. I'm feeling the Turbo Master love. Absolutely bossed it.
7. No, wait, no, yep, 7. It's 7.
At 7, we have Kingdom Waspinator. This was a big surprise. I wasn't gonna go in on the beasties. Not like intentionally. I wasn't like opposed to it. I wasn't like, Beast Wars is bollocks, G1 or nothing. I'm not that guy. I'll never be that guy. But I was slightly disheartened by how little interest I had in them. I was a little bit surprised at myself. I would see them on the shelves and I just keep walking. However, Waspinator just kind of pipped in there. I got him on like the 27th of December. I got him on the way home from Christmas, and he is a delight. I never really was a fan of Waspinator as a character. I think he was ruined for me by people doing impressions of Waspinator, because it's just that, isn't it? It's just that throaty sort of squeak. You just say the word Waspinator a lot. We have fun, but stop it. Stop it! Stop showing me your impression of Waspinator. Yes, there he goes. He's great. I really like this thing. Look at him! Friggin' green bug man with sharp yellow insectoid highlights and friggin' see-through purple wings. It's brilliant. Look, it does have a lot of the same problems that a lot of the bug characters do, like Black Arachnia has the explosion of legs. Transmetal Scavenger kind of made it work, but this is just stiff, rigid bug legs poking all the way out of his robot legs, and it's a mess, but I'm into it. I like this. So representing the Beast Wars End of Kingdom, I only got this lad and the T-Rex Megatron, didn't love that, but this is loads of fun. I just took a punt on it at the very end of the year and I was quite enraptured by how much I enjoy this thing. It is quite small for a deluxe, but I love his vibe. Just the sort of Baxter Stockman, Bugman energy. Gorgeous, deep violet light piping. Friggin' translucent wings, he's brilliant. I love bugs. I was obsessed as a kid for a bit, and I still find them fascinating. Because I did Manterra, and Tripredacus, and Transketo, and a bunch of other ones. But I've never owned a Waspinator, and I don't know why. Like, I haven't got the original one, and I didn't do the Generations one either, when sort of Rhinox and Double Dealer came out. Was that this year or 2013? That was both. It's nice to have a Waspinator in my lineup. I've got a basic Beast Wars framework of characters now. Primal, Megatron, Pterosaur, Rhinox. I've got a Rat Trap. Still haven't got a Dinobot, but we have Waspinator, and I am quite taken with how much I enjoy this buggy dickhead. Oh, nah, Waspinator. Man got them long nipples.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6?
If you'd care to join me for a cheeky scooch over here, we'll check out number 6 on the list. It is Haslab Unicron. I do feel a couple of ways about having bought this thing, but I kind of had to do it because it was such an event in, like, not just Transformers zone, but just like the general pop culture sphere. Where am I looking? Here, okay. Like, I had to be part of it. It's such a moment, like this huge friggin' crowd-funded beast of a creature. It represented a kind of sea change in the way that big ticket items are being produced now. Like, it's the whole HasLab funding thing, and I don't know if I love that, like, as a long-term solution, but it was a big deal, and I am glad that I took part in that. But when it arrived, I don't know, it did make me question my whole life, because it's so freaking big, man. Like, my house is tiny. I live in a little inner city 2 up, 2 down, and this thing and the box it came in probably take up about like 1% of my entire floor space here. So I don't know if I'm going to keep it long term. It is simply impractically enormous, but as like a big shot bragging rights centerpiece, check me out, razzle dazzle piece. It's such a showstopper, because like, people used to come in here and they go, ooh, you've got a lot of toys. But now they go, look at that thing! Whoa! It's fun. It's a fun thing to have around, even if it's not that good, really. Like, as a toy, it's a C. You've seen the panel forming and the kibble and the snappy wings and the body that doesn't change up. This is a weird way to do a toy review, isn't it? Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's a good toy or even that I like it especially, but it is a fun thing to have in the house for now. So I'm going to enjoy it while it's here. I'm going to celebrate it as much as I can, leave it in the backdrop for a while, give it 6 months. We'll do a review, we'll do a proper in-depth video on it. We'll get the Armada one involved. He's up there, looking very weedy indeed. I think I've got the deluxe one somewhere and all, but we'll do a Unicron video, and we'll see how we feel, because I don't know if I can keep it. It's too much. Honestly, this thing really made me question, like, not just my sort of identity as a collector, because I often said that I don't really do, like, big-ticket, flashy, check-me-out, razzle-dazzle purchases. Because I've said similar things about going in on masterpieces and, like, friggin' third-party Thunderclash and so on, and those are, like, so small fry now, next to the might and the mass of this thing. Like, do you remember when Megatronia was a flex? It still kind of is. It made me question my whole life, not just as a collector, but as a person. Like, what am I doing? Is this who I am? Because I like to think that I don't take collecting too seriously. But don't I, though? I currently don't really know where I'm at, like, as a collector and as a human being. And Unicron has made me ask myself a lot of difficult, important questions. So I couldn't possibly not include Haslab Unicron on my top 10 for 2021, because it was such a moment, like, it was such a big part of the action figure landscape and just the collector experience of this year. It made me, I don't know if happy is the word, but I was impressed, and I was also slightly disappointed, because it's just not very good. It's not very good. But it had to be in the top 10. I couldn't give it top 5, but it had to be on the list. So number 6, I think is fair. Anyway, shall we scooch back over here? I might play you some tunes, and then we'll do top 5. What do we think? That's what's happening.
Building to the ground, that house of serpents harbors murderers. Bet that where will we rise to the world from the walls and the gold and the fucking covenant? Memory when I was young. I'm still following
you. 5, I reckon. Yeah, just confirm that for me, mate. Yep, he's nodding. Cool, 5 it is then. Cheers, mate.
Right, back on the top 5 and back at it once again with Kingdom Arcwood. I love being predictable, it's my hobby. Good year for unconscionably large orange robots, right? Rather than being a big orange piece of shit that made me feel weird about my whole life. This big orange piece of shit made me feel okay about a whole stratum of Transformers. Well, I think I covered it quite well in my review, which you should probably watch. But this thing was the Titan class toy that I was missing all along. He's just kind of unlocked the bit of my brain that thinks Titan class toys are fun, like a friggin' Cyber Planet key. Flip me open like a rocket launcher. Fort Max, Metroplex, I feel okay about them now. I might even go in on Omega Supreme. And also, again, like Unicron, it's not even that good, really. More than the actual toy, I love the design and the intent of it. He's a big, clumsy, sort of hollow, naffo, dickhead robot. But there's plenty going on, there's loads kicking off. We got Mainframe on the go. He's a good kid. Simply the magnitude of it carries it the rest of the way. So here's a big old high five for friggin' Arcs and Spencer here. Big Arlo Arcs. This lad made me feel things in 2021, similarly to how Unicron did, but nothing like as severe and negative and all-encompassing and bleak. Good vibes only. Studio Series Wreck-Gar. This friggin' guy, man. This trash monster. This garbagey guy. I cannot tell you. So, Studio Series this year focusing on the 86 movie. I mean, I know it's just yet more G1, but it's been really good, isn't it? Like, those Dinobots are so good, man. Nor was a treat, but Wreck-Gar, this is the one for me that made the real breakthrough. As a character, I can take him or leave him. He's just a knobhead who lives in squalor and talks a lot of shit, same. As a design, it is so mad Floro Deary, Cyclonus level, anime-inspired, stylized space creature. Look at this, from the back. It's perfect. There is not an inch of this figure that isn't great. It was such a finally moment, because Wreck-Gar has had such a weird ride. Like, for me, there hasn't ever really been a good version of this Wreck-Gar. The animated one was fun, but as for motorbike Wreck-Gar, the G1 was a mess. Reveal the Shield was a friggin' headache. I hated it. Power of the Primes did not work. Unlike a lot of the other characters that we say, oh, finally, a good one. Like your blue streaks and your side swipes, they've had like alright ones in the past. But Wreck-Gar, like leading up to this, there was no masterpiece, no other alright ones, just shit. Brilliant! It's such a jump, and it's a joy to behold. I'm just so glad that they came through in such spectacular style with a Wreck-Gar that is this good. And I got it when I was on a weekend meetup in the big city with some lovely folks who I adore. And we just had a brilliant time. So this is also kind of a souvenir of that. On a personal level, in amongst sort of all the nightmares and lockdowns and everything, I did manage to have a couple of really nice weekends, and I got this during one of them. So I'm kind of done advocating for repaints. I'm trying to avoid getting multiples of the same mold these days, but I would love a couple more of these. I want a bunch of these. I want 5 or 6 Junkions that are this good and that can ride each other, right? Just like do this with a few different chest plates. I don't care. Make it happen. Pretty please.
Here's the tea on number 3.
Right, number 3 is another sort of obnoxious P.O. box flex. This is something that somebody sent in apropos of nothing. I was visibly blown away at the time. G1 Ricochet. Is it Ricochet? Is it Stepper? Does it matter? God, what an absolute privilege to behold. The bombast of this thing, I was not prepared, alright? I've always thought of Stepper as being like sort of cool and subdued. Yeah, he's... What if Jazz was even cooler? Like the Diaclone Jazz Porsche mold is simply an all-timer. Like, I think of that as being the classy era. This is bonkers. Pure friggin' blinged out baller. Gigantic weapons, 2 different guns, one of them's a bloke. The size of this launcher, come on. For some reason I thought it would be classy. And it is not classy. Gold leaf and flames. How could I have ever thought that about Stepper? He is not subtle. It's the gaudiest, most hideous casino of a thing you've seen in your life. Ultimate flash. Pure gold. His face is gold, but it is working for me. And like, there's kind of a whole prestige thing around the fact that it was a Japanese exclusive for so long. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is the Commemorative series, so it was a Western release anyway. But it still has that energy. It's like Black Zarak, you know, it's something that you recognize and know as being quite cool, but made hideous and somehow way better for it. They've just made it all black and gold and disgusting, like a friggin' box of Benson and Hedges. This is Jazz when he's got a darts championship at 4 and cabaret at 6. I don't know, it scratched an itch that I didn't really know was there. This isn't something I knew as a kid. Stepper isn't a guy that I was familiar with. He was like one of the sort of vague rare ones from when I came back to it as an adult. Like, it does do the same thing to me that like experiencing an old figure that you've never seen does. Like friggin' Slapdash. I had no idea what Slapdash was until I got one randomly. Thanks once again to Fisherman's Prime for letting me add this thing to my collection. It's not something that was ever really on my radar. Never thought I'd see one, and now I own it, and it's disgusting, and I love it. You alright in there, love? Just gonna do number 2, alright? Don't stay in there too long, you'll go pruny. Number 2 is yet another Generosity of Others special. So, late 2021, I expressed a vague interest somewhere that I kind of would like to get an Earthrise Blue Streak, because I'd missed it in shops, it just wasn't anywhere. And then our mate Brent comes through and sends me the gorgeousness that is Earthrise Blue Streak from a store near to him, which happened to have a bunch of them. But also, in the package, he sent me a friggin' fucking Dispensor. Sorry, Blue Streak. This is our number 2 robot for the year. Movie Advanced Series Dispensor, based off the payload mold, which I like for some reason, even though it's shitty. And he turns into a friggin' the Mountain Dew machine from the first film, from that 1 second gag when they did an obnoxious product placement thing and had a Mountain Dew vending machine, boom, boom, shooting bottles at people. So it's not a thing I ever really thought that I'd be able to get my hands on. It's not something I intended to check out. But here comes Brent, like a hero, storming through with this thing out of nowhere, just off the back of a vague desire to have a different toy. Barely deserve this, man, honestly. It's not even that good, you know. It's a rubbish, clumsy toy. Like, it does the whole sort of payload armored car thing, but this is what we're after, isn't it? There you go. That's kind of a mode, right? The mood whiplash vending machine moment. That is why this thing exists, and it's so dumb. I can't believe this is real. I can't believe they made it. Even less than that, I can't believe that I've got one now. The payload mold is something that I appreciate for reasons other than its quality. And to have so wild a redeco, the fact that this exists is stupid enough. And now I own it because I have nice friends. Isn't that says something, right? One. Quick. Oh, God. And your 2021 number 1 robot son is Kingdom Core Soundwave. Are you kidding me? This is brilliant. Yeah, check on Unicron. There's a lot to be said for these core class things, all right? Because Starscream's great, Megatron's okay, but Soundwave, it's surprising how complete it feels and how definitive a toy of this character this feels like. Even though it's 3 inches tall. I don't know what else you want from it, honestly. It does the tape thing, doesn't transform admittedly, but it's a tenner. That's the other kicker. Like, you could go for a Hot Soldiers or an Iron Factory one, but they'd be 25, 40 quid. This is £12. And it's so good. Oh, look at it, it's adorable. It's a perfect version of Soundwave, one of the most iconic lads in all of Transformers ever. It's like the Netflix one they did was sort of a downscale of the Masterpiece. And like this is a downscale of that. So it's basically as good and as much fun as the Masterpiece. And it fits in your pocket. This is the ultimate desk toy. It has not left arm's reach. You can just pick it up and absent-mindedly mess with it for 10 seconds, and you've done it. It's just so good, so intuitive, such a great sort of starter pack. Well, I would recommend this to anybody, even if they don't do Transformers, kind of especially if they don't do Transformers. What a treat, what a joy that is. Makes me glad to be part of this, and it makes me a very happy lad. So yes, my number 1 favourite Transformer of 2021. Not necessarily the best, but the one I enjoyed the most consistently, and the most thoroughly. And in terms of toys that I've voluntarily engaged with, that I've looked at and picked up and messed with and transformed and had a bit of a go with, Soundwave gets the clock. Alright, Transformers Kingdom, core class Soundwave, not just the name of the toy, also the noise I made when I got it. Core class Soundwave! And that, I think, concludes 2021, halfway into January 2022. We can finally get on with some other business now. I've got loads I want to do this year. Got Legacy coming. We're excited about that, are we not? I've got plenty in the pipeline. I'm actually really fired up to get on with this now. So if you'll excuse me, I am gonna go and make some videos that may or may not blow your knob off, or your tits, or both, if applicable. So what about you, eh? What's your favourite robot from last year, huh? What's your top 10 or 5 or 1 or 3? Hit me up in the comments, let me know. I'd love to hear what you think. So we'll leave it there, and I'll be back very shortly with more of this nonsense, more robot-related gumption and so forth, with toys and Transformers and cool robots and jump cuts and stupid music and me wearing the shirt of whatever band I saw last. In a bit now. Right, let's get on with things, shall we, team? Let's arm up and cruise into this year with big-ass energy. Especially, I'm looking at you, Nathan Frobe. Thank you, baby. Thank you for supporting me on Patreon and so on. I insist that you have a smashing evening, and I'll catch you on the next one. How about that? Laters.
Be sure to subscribe for more Thew's Awesome Transformers reviews. Limited appeal, keeping it real.